Hi. So, we're talking today about people who have not studied business and they want to work in the world of business. So, I'm one of those people. I actually have a background in humanities and psychology. I studied languages and I also studied political science, and then a few years later went back to university and studied psychology. I did an honors degree. And the difficult thing was when I tried to move into the world of business, I thought, well, wait a second. What bloody skills do I have? Who the hell would give me a job? I don't know what these companies need. I don't know what these companies look like. What could I do to possibly get into these companies and actually do something that's useful in some way? And it's a really tough question for some people. But the truth of the matter is, business degrees don't necessarily make you good at working in business. It doesn't mean you have the skill set that people require. A lot of these things are based on your personality traits. You have to be a certain kind of person in some organizations. That's cultural fit. Other things like skills are things that you actually have to learn by doing and that universities don't really prepare people for. So if you're looking for a role that's non-technical, that requires a large body of knowledge and a set of skills that are quite practical, then you're by no means disadvantaged by not having a business degree. I mean, there are some recruiters out there that will look for an MBA or they'll look for a Bachelor of Commerce, but there are others that you certainly can get. So let's have a look. What are the kind of areas you could go into? What you really want to get is some kind of experience, some kind of solid experience. You may have to do some kind of internship, which might be unpaid, some kind of work experience. I'm sorry, but that's often just what happens in the world of business. You have to prove yourself. But once you have that, you're in a good position to talk about and tell stories about things you've done. And you have to, when you do this, and this is important, if you don't have a business background, you have to know what your background is. And I'm not talking about what you've studied. You can tell people what you've studied. But what you've studied is no longer really relevant. If you study philosophy, you can use your skills at logic. But what does that mean? What does that look like? How do you actually use that to contribute? So my advice to you is understand what you have and understand the skills that you can bring then and what values and what kind of benefits they give to a company. So, for example, I have a background in teaching. I used to be a teacher. Now, teaching is all about clarity and being able to communicate things to people and being empathetic and understanding how to manage relationships with people. I was teaching adults. And by having that, I found that I was able to identify the same skills being required here in my current role. A lot of the time, you're working on these complex projects, you have these really technical skills that are required at the bottom in terms of the actual work being done. Then you have these people that are much higher up the chain who don't really understand that technical stuff, but they understand maybe the finances or they understand the overall vision of an organization. If you can connect those two things together, if you can go to someone and understand the technical stuff by learning it quickly, and you have to learn technical stuff, you will have to get your head around it. But you don't necessarily need to be able to do any of those things because there are people who can do those things. And you could say, look, I'm the person that connects those two together. I connect senior management, senior leaders with people at the bottom, and you help align that. And that's a huge thing. There are so many projects and departments that completely fall off the radar and end up spending huge amounts of money because they're doing things that don't work, or senior leadership don't understand it as a problem until there's a crisis. So that's one thing you could do. Another thing you could do is maybe work in HR or work in admin and do that kind of work where you start to specialize in an area that doesn't require a huge body of knowledge up front. You can learn on the job. But in terms of general advice, I'm going a bit of a rant, so I will say that yes, at the moment I'm digressing. What I will say is, if you have a set of skills or a set of things that you're good at that you can do in an office environment, it could be things like communication. And when I say communication, I mean really being able to understand people, contextualize things, and then very, very clearly articulate what the business case is for something. Or if you have, for example, skills of rapport building, which would help you in a sales process, that's a huge thing as well. If you have the ability to learn things really quickly, that could help you in terms of communicating once again, but it could help you to find out how things work and connect things and synthesize information. If you have those kinds of skills, they're very relevant. The thing that's hard is in many ways understanding what those skills are and also understanding that yes, you do have value, you can be confident in yourself, but you have to look into yourself, understand what you have, and then try to scope out the environment through some work experience and get that first role from there. But the real thing you have to do first is get a sense of who you are. Now, this is a bit of an experiment, this is a bit of a rant. I hope it's been valuable. If it hasn't, let me know. If it has, let me know. Tell me what you think. because I want to make more videos like this, but I'd like to know what kind of videos I should make, what's going to help you. So let me know what you think in the comment box below, and I'll look forward to hearing from you. Thank you.